1. The great power rivalry, US versus China. The relationship between Washington and Beijing remains the central axis of global affairs. De-risking over decoupling. While total economic separation proved impossible, Western nations have largely moved critical supply chains, semiconductors, EV batteries, rare earth minerals, out of China. The Taiwan Strait and South China Sea. These remain the world's most dangerous flashpoints. China continues its gray zone tactics, maritime pressures and cyber incursions, while the US has strengthened the AUKUS, Australia, UK, US, in Squad, US, Japan, Philippines, Australia, alliances to contain Beijing's naval expansion. Technological sovereignty, the race for artificial general intelligence, AGI, and quantum computing is now viewed through a national security lens, with both powers implementing strict export controls on high-end hardware. 2. The European security crisis, Ukraine and Russia. By 2026, the war in Ukraine has entered a grueling phase of attrition or a fragile, frozen stalemate. A militarized Europe. NATO is stronger and larger than ever, with Finland and Sweden fully integrated. European nations, led by Poland and Germany, have significantly increased defense spending, moving towards strategic autonomy to lessen their total dependence on U.S. security. Russia's pivot east, heavily sanctioned by the West, Russia has deepened its no-limits partnership with China and expanded its influence in the global South via Wagner-style security contracts and energy diplomacy. 3. Middle East volatility. The region has seen a collapse of the relative stability attempted in the early 2020s. The Israel-Iran shadow war. Following the 2023 to 2024 Gaza conflict, the region remains on edge. The struggle between Israel and the Iranian-backed axis of resistance, Hezbollah, Houthis, militias in Iraq, Syria, dominates the security landscape. Fragile normalization. The momentum of the Abraham Accords has slowed as Arab states must balance their desire for economic modernization, like Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, with the domestic political pressure of the Palestinian cause. 4. The rise of the Global South and BRICS plus developing nations are no longer willing to pick sides in a new Cold War. BRICS expansion, the expansion of the BRICS bloc, now including Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, the UAE, and others, represents a formal push to create a non-Western economic counterweight. Transaction-based diplomacy. Countries like India, Brazil, and Indonesia are acting as swing states. They trade with the West for technology and investment, but maintain ties with Russia for energy and China for infrastructure. De-dollarization. While the US dollar remains the dominant reserve currency, there is an accelerating trend of countries settling bilateral trade in local currencies, yuan, rupee, dirham, to insulate themselves from US sanctions. 5. Weaponized interdependence. Geopolitics is no longer just about armies. It is about everything as a weapon. Energy and food security. Transitioning to green energy has created a new race for green minerals. Lithium, cobalt. Control over these mines in Africa and South America is the new oil rush. Migration as pressure. Mass migration, driven by climate change and conflict, is being used by some actors as a tool of hybrid warfare to destabilize the internal politics of the EU and the US AI and information warfare. The 2024 and 2025 election cycles globally were heavily impacted by AI-generated deepfakes and disinformation, making truth a casualty of geopolitical competition. 6. The crisis of global governance. The United Nations and the World Trade Organization, WTO, are increasingly viewed as paralyzed by the veto powers of the permanent members. As a result, the world has shifted toward minilateralism. Small groups of like-minded allies, the G7, the Quad, the SCO, taking action rather than seeking broad international consensus. Summary for 2026. We are in an era of armed peace and economic nationalism. The world is more interconnected than ever via the internet and supply chains, yet more divided than ever by ideology, security fears, and the race to control the technologies of the future. 1. The great power rivalry, U.S. versus China. The relationship between Washington and Beijing remains the central axis of global affairs. De-risking over decoupling. While total economic separation proved impossible,